What's going on, everyone? Your mom's favorite YouTuber KKS here, and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be making a tier list on the Boston Celtics roster. Now, at the time of me making this video, the Celtics are struggling, they're not in the playoffs, and we're going to break down and see why that is. Why are the Celtics struggling so much? Um, yeah, we're gonna make a tier list. S is for star players. A is for like great role players, like great third, fourth options. B is like a role player. C is a bench warmer, but with potential and has shown flashes. And D is just a bench warmer. So yeah, before we begin, I'd like to ask you all to please subscribe so you don't miss any more of my videos in the future, and also to help me out on my YouTube journey, and also to like the video to show your appreciation if you like the video. So also comment down below if you agree on what I say or if you disagree about anything. All I ask is you be respectful in the comments, and I'll be respectful back. So yeah, I made this Celtics color themed. It's kind of hard because they're only like um green and white, so just made green then white to grayish. All right, but let's do it. So Jayson Tatum, he's gonna be S tier. I don't think he's a superstar yet. I think he's a star, and I also, to be honest, I think he's the most overrated player in the NBA, but he's still a star. And that's a discussion for another day. I'll explain later why he's so overrated. Next, Carson Edwards. He's going to be C tier because he has shown improvement from last year, but he's still not really like part of the regular rotation, or he shouldn't be at least. He's not at that level yet. But we saw what he did at Purdue. He was like amazing there. So he's showing flashes of that this season, and so he's going to be C tier. Jaylen Brown, he's going to be S tier. I'm putting him ahead of Tatum. I think he's the best player on this team. The jump he's made from last season to this season is unbelievable. He's still an elite defender. However, now he's also a great player on the offensive side of the ball. And so Jaylen Brown's going to be S tier for me. He's not a superstar yet either, but he's on his way there. And as of now, he's definitely a star. Then we have Kemba Walker. Now, a lot of people have been, especially Celtics fans, have been blaming the Celtics struggles on him. I'm gonna put him A tier because he's still a a star when he's healthy, but right now the Celtics have been rushing him to from injury last year in the bubble and then this year, and then now they're putting all their blame on him, and I'm sure he's not in the right like state of mind that he was back when he was in Charlotte. So I think he's still a star player, but he isn't quite playing that way right now. So he's gonna be A tier. Then we have Peyton Pritchard. He's gonna be B tier for me because I think he's been one of the few bright spots for the Celtics team. He was great back at Oregon, and now he's been able to translate it well to the pros, much better than Carson Edwards has. Although no disrespect to Carson Edwards, I'm sure he's trying his best, but Peyton Pritchard's game is easier to translate, and he's managed the change well. Then we have Grant Williams. Grant Williams, he's a great locker room presence for the Celtics, but he's not quite a role player. I mean, he is a role player for the Celtics, but that's because they need him to be because they lack depth. And so he's going to be high end C tier for me because he's a good player. He was great at, pretty sure he went to Tennessee. Yeah, he was great there. And he's done a good job translating it into the NBA as well, but he's not quite a solid role player. Then we have Tristan Thompson. He's also going to be C tier behind Grant Williams. Um, Again, he's not that great, but he's had a couple games this season where he's been good. So, excuse me. So he's gonna be C tier, and then next up we have Neesmith, and Neesmith is going to be C tier. because he's a rookie. I don't want to blame the Celtics struggles on him, and so he's going to be C tier because he's a great shooter. He's still got a lot of potential, and the Celtics just haven't given him big big enough role. And I think if they did, he would be able to succeed in it. So I think Neesmith, if Brad Stevens gives him a few more minutes, I think the Celtics will improve because he's a great player. And then we have Daniel Tice. This one's a tough one. He's gonna go low end B tier. Um, I mean, he's their starting center, but he's not a good starting center. He doesn't really do much for them, honestly, not as much as he should be doing. And I mean, he's only a B tier because they need him to be. And on most other teams, Tice would be a C tier, but for the Celtics, since he has such a big role, he's going to be B tier. Marcus Smart, he's definitely A tier. Last year, there were there was a point in time where I thought Marcus Smart was the Celtics' most important player. He's like he's that glue guy. I know you guys hear that term a lot, but he really is that glue guy who keeps this team together. And he hasn't been playing the last few weeks, which is a big reason as to why the Celtics have been struggling. Um, and so they really need him back if they wanna go back to being contenders. And so he truly is. Yeah, I'd put him ahead of Kemba solely for that reason. He's one of the most important players on this team, and you can see by their record they're struggling without him. He's been gone the last 2, 3 weeks, and so hopefully he's back soon, and the Celtics can get back to their winning ways. Then we have Semi Ojeleye. He's gonna be C tier. I'm gonna put him behind Tristan Thompson, but I think the Celtics need to give less of a role to him and more to Neesmith so that we could move him ahead. But for now, Ojeleye has more opportunities than Neesmith, which is fair enough considering he's had experience in the league and Neesmith hasn't exactly. So yeah, we're gonna put Ojeleye in C tier. Then we have Javonte Green. Javonte Green's gonna be D tier. Um, he's just not at the level as these guys. He's a bit older. He's not going to get much better. And I don't think there's much of an argument there. Robert Williams. Robert Williams. I really like Robert Williams, to be honest. I'm going to put him C tier ahead of Ojale. I really like him. He's a very, he's a very great um, role player when given the opportunity. However, this is a very crowded front court with Tice and Tristan Thompson, and also in certain small ball lineups when they got Grant Williams out there at the five. But I think Robert Williams, in my opinion, I would value him more than Tristan Thompson and Daniel Tice, but I know the Celtics just don't see it that way. And if it were up to me, I would trade one or both of these guys in front of him to give Robert Williams more of an opportunity to succeed while also replacing these two guys with some more um, efficient players. Next is Romeo Langford, and I'm gonna put him D tier simply because he hasn't played this season. No disrespect to Romeo Langford, I really liked him actually coming out of the draft, and if he were playing, I would put him C tier or playing at least well, but because he still has potential, he's only played one full, not even full really, one kind of half season. And so, as long as he stays healthy, he could be an important piece of the Celtics' future. Next, Trey Waters, he's D tier. He's just not good either. He is young. I'll put him ahead of Javonte Green, honestly. But I mean, he was great at LSU. I liked him there, but he's not quite a decent bench warmer yet, or a decent role player yet. Then we have Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague, he was great in the early part of his career. However, he has fallen off a bit, but I'm gonna put him C tier. I'm gonna put him ahead of Ojale. I'm gonna put him behind Robert Williams, even though he probably should be ahead of both him and Tristan Thompson. But I mean, he's not as great of a player as he used to be for the Hawks. and for the Timberwolves and such, but he would be a good backup point guard for a good star point guard, like Kemba Walker if he were healthy, but Kemba's missed a lot of time, which has forced Jeff Teague into that starting role, which he just quite doesn't have anymore. Isn't quite like he doesn't really fulfill that role anymore. So yeah. And then last but definitely not least, we have Taco Fall. He is S tier. Taco Fall is the greatest player in NBA history. He's the 7'5" monster. Nobody can stop this man. Taco Fall is the greatest player to ever grace this earth. And so he's going to be S tier. He's their superstar. And it's just quite disrespectful to Taco Fall how bad this Celtics team has been, because a player of his caliber and athleticism, pure strength, deserves more than being a non-playoff team. So yeah, that's the uh, that's the Celtics tier list. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please like the video. Please comment down below if you agree or disagree with anything. And also subscribe so you don't miss any more of my future videos. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.